Okay, so the ABC deck, the main goal of the deck is to summon Buster Dragon and interrupt your opponent. Next turn, bring back all your A, B, and C, spam a bunch of Links and Xyz and Buster Dragons and OTK your opponent. Using a bunch of hand traps to stun your opponent as well. That's pretty much it. Just the only strategy to summon Buster Dragon. The issue with the deck is that only has one push, the normal summon or Destrudo, and if any of those get interrupted by any hand trap, you pretty much lose the game. I don't think, when it comes to matchups, like, probably the hardest matchup is Spiral, only because literally they play Resort and you have to use Buster Dragon on that. Otherwise, you can't interact with any of their cards for the rest of the turn because Resort prevents targeting. And like, if ABC goes first and does what it's supposed to do, then it can beat every deck. Like, I feel like that's a lot of the decks in this format. If they go first, they're really powerful. And going second is relying on drawing certain hand traps and things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much ABC.
So the next deck is ABC. ABC has seen a bit of more play lately again. Of course, it's like a very old deck now, but it's still kept up with the pace of time now. And it showed itself to be very adaptable to a lot of formats. It's kind of comparable to Trickstar in the way that your engine isn't really big. You have your 3 hangers, your 3 terraformings, and your 9 ABC parts. But apart from that, your deck has 25 cards. You can choose however you want. With the release of the Strudo, the deck got a new life, because in the past we had to play like Photon Trashers or Gadgets to get a play, but now with 2 field spells you can make your Buster, your Decode, and Buster is still a very strong card. It's a big body, it banishes a card, so there's your Disrupt. Then the moment you tag out is when you can't really keep up the pace anymore, because they get 3 monsters they can use for either Xyz summons or Link summons, especially now with Links that also gave the way, and like before you had to play Tuners to trigger them, but now you can just link them away. And as we get more Links, the deck, in my opinion, will get better because it just supports the engine well. The ABC parts are not once per turn. C special something from hand, so you can keep going in that way. And as we see now, it adapts very well to Spiral, especially because you can just fill in these 25 cards with cards against the Spiral matchup. While the deck is very good at going first and also scary to play against, there's not too many cards you can dedicate to side against it. Like, Kaijus are generally good, but like, people at the moment don't play System Downs or Chaos Hunter or anything specific to beat the deck. I would say the worst matchup of the deck would be Pendulum Magician, because if you go first, you have your 1 Disrupt, but where are you going to use that? It's like, if they summon Harmonizing, it's fine if you banish that. They can't Synchro, but they can still go into like Baguska or stop your next turn. The best matchup, I would say, is probably Trickstar, because you can put monsters that float on board while having the access to ABC Dragon Buster later on too.
ABC is another interesting underdog competitor. They put themselves in a position where they can just slip by because people are concentrating on other decks, but they still have powerful enough plays that if they get in control of the game, that Buster Dragon is going to banish all of your cards before you know what's happened. They're obviously very weak to a lot of the hand traps though, so an untimely Ash Blossom or Ghost Ogre is going to leave you, similarly to Spiral, in a position where you have a very unfavorable board, and unlike Spiral, they struggle even more to recover. They can be supplemented with Invoked, as I played myself in London. Not to great effect, but I tried my best. And that gives the deck some other options, but it still struggles in the same ways and loses to the same things, so it's not necessarily a good hedge right now.